Hello friends, today we are going to discuss the if-else-if ladder construct of the control statements. In the previous class we have described the if-else construct. Today we are going to describe the if-else-if ladder construct with an example program or an illustrative program. So let us get started with the program, the question of which I have written on the board beforehand. So this will demonstrate the if-else-if ladder construct. So we have written the program's question is like this, that write a program in C to print first division for marks greater than equal to 60. So there are some conditions which are being imposed for printing some grade for different marks and marks ranges. So the first division for marks greater than or equal to 60. We are going to second division. We are going to print second division for marks greater than equal to 45 and less than 60. And if the marks is less than 45, we are going to print that the student has failed in the examination. So in this case, we are seeing that there are multiple conditions. So we are going to discuss this program in the sense of the if-else-if ladder construct. So let us get started with writing the program from the beginning. So first, as you know friends, that we always use the file inclusion directive first, that is the preprocessor directive. So we are going to write #include stdio.h. Then we come to the int main portion, that is the main function of the program. Then we come to the first opening brace. Then we have to declare, you have to think that what is needed, what is the input needed for the program and how many inputs are needed for the program. So if we think that there are several conditions in this program, but the input should be one, that is the marks. The marks will be the input from the user end, and this marks will vary in other cases, in different cases, and these marks is the variable to be considered as the only single input variable in this program. So we will just consider the one variable like this int marks, and we never assign a value into this, just we declare the variable marks to take the input from the user end, and the user input will just go into this marks identifier or marks variable. So this is an integer. For our simplicity, we are considering the variable to be an integer variable. It can be a float variable as well, it can be a double variable as well, but we are considering this marks as an integer variable for the sake of simplicity, friends. So in this program we are seeing that there are different categories of gradations. So I will just take the input from the user by giving a prompt like this: printf new line, enter your marks. So I am just prompting the user to enter his or her marks in the program as an input to the program. So the input is given by the user by this scanf statement, which you are familiar with as we have done in the previous class. So scanf %d, this %d is the format specifier for the integer data type. So %d double inverted comma, then we are coming to this ampersand marks, that is the address of the marks. So by this statement, the marks will get a value from the user, that is from the keyboard. And then we come to the logical section of the program. Then we come to our main topic of this program, that is the if-else-if ladder construct. So first the logical program will start like this. First we will give the if, and we'll then supply a parenthesis, opening parenthesis, and we write that if marks is greater than or equal to 60, then closing parenthesis, then a little indentation towards the right, we will print printf new line first division. That is, the grade is the first division grade for students who are getting more than 60 or at least 60. So then comes the next condition, which is the second category, that is the second division for the marks which are falling between the range of 45 and 60. So we are going to write the else condition. Then we will have to supply another if, That is, we are now starting the if-else if ladder construct. Else if. So there are two conditions. There is a range. There is a lower range and upper range. So in this sort of program, we will use the conditional operator. That is, we will use the beg your pardon. I will use the logical AND operator to specify the conditional control statement. So I will write marks greater than or equal to 45. This will be one condition. So if else if, this if has got one parenthesis of itself, and in between this first brackets we will use another pair of first brackets in order to specify both the conditions connected with a logical AND operator, which will just act like the logical AND operation as you are familiar in the digital logic. So that is else if marks greater than equal to 45, and then comes double ampersand. This is the logical AND operator. This is the logical AND operator. So this is a thing which is very important to note. That is, we are supplying two conditions. The first condition is marks greater than equal to 45, and the second condition, that is, both the condition will hold good for this expression statement to execute properly. And the next condition is marks less than 60. Then comes the closing parenthesis. Then under this if, a little bit of indentation once again to print the gradation. That is printf new line second division. I think it's legible to you. I hope this is not illegible to you. So please try to see this board and just focus your attention on the board. And then comes the last segment of the if-else if ladder construct. That is, we are saying that there is a third condition other than any marks, other than marks which are greater than 60 or equal to 60 or falling between the range of 45 and 60. All the marks which are just less than 45 will be considered to be a marks for which the student who has secured that marks is a failed candidate for the examination. So we will write the last condition, that is else if, and this if will have another else for itself. So we will write in this level, that is, we will write here else, and a little bit of indentation. We don't require to write anything like marks else if marks less than 45, because the only condition which is left after the execution of these conditions is only the else portion, which is this condition, that is marks less than 45. So we will print just we need to print printf new line failed. So this brings us to the end of this if-else if ladder. We can add more and more conditions to the program to bring the ladder to a greater, bigger size, but it is enough for you to understand the if-else if ladder. So the last thing which we can do is just write the return 0 statement and then close the brace. So this brings us to the end of the program. So friends, if you have any sorts of doubts or queries relating to this program, you can just drop your comments in the comment section, and which will help you to understand the nuances of this program. So thank you, friends.